various cases are described in the Gospels, and the Gospels are the ultimate truth. Furthermore, within the church itself, there have been numerous cases of possession. Indeed, the church has instituted official exorcism rituals, which we will discuss momentarily. In possession, the devil invades the body of a living person and removes his faculties and organs as if they were his own. The devil resides within the victim, physically, but not spiritually. Consider a man driving a car. Through physical means, the man can steer, brake, and accelerate, but the man is still, of course, a separate entity from the car itself. Such is demonic possession. Only God has the power to penetrate truly into a person's soul, so the soul of a possessed individual remains free. The primary purpose of a possession is to disturb the soul and draw it to sin in a rebellion against God. Within diabolical possession, there are two periods: the period of crisis and the period of calm. During periods of crisis, the devil usually reveals himself by acts, words, convulsions, seizures, obscenities, or blasphemy. During this time, victims lose consciousness, and when they regain their wherewithal, they have no recollection of what they said or done. However, this is not always the case. Sometimes individuals are completely cognizant throughout periods of crisis. The saintly Father Surin was himself allegedly possessed for 12 years in the 17th century. During this time, Father Surin wrote a letter in which he describes the symptomology and feeling of his possession. He is there as another I, and then it seems that I have two souls, one of which watches what the other one does. The two spirits struggle on the same field of battle, which is the body. I am at the same time filled with happiness and overwhelmed with a sorrow which is expressed in complaints and groans according to the caprice of the devils. I feel in myself a state of condemnation, and I fear it. I realize that the cries that come forth from my mouth proceed equally from these two souls, and it is impossible for me to say whether it is happiness or fury that causes them. During my seizures, my consolation is prayer, and I have recourse to it while my body rolls around on the floor, and the ministers of the church speak to me as to a devil and pronounce curses over me. My state is that there remain very few actions in which I am free. If I wish to speak, my tongue rebels. During the Mass, I find myself constrained to stop suddenly. At table, I cannot bring the food to my mouth. If I go to confession, I forget my sins, and I know that the devil is within me as in his house, coming and going as it pleases him.
Fluid.
If I wake up, there he is waiting for me.
Story of my life.
He distracts my thoughts as he wishes. When my heart is open to God, he fills it with fury. If I wish to keep a vigil, I sleep, and he takes glory in the fact that he is my master, which I actually cannot deny. During periods of calm, however, there is nothing to indicate the presence of the devil. A person may even think the devil has gone entirely. However, the devil's presence often manifests in periods of calm as some strange chronic illness. This illness resists any sort of diagnosis and does not match any known pathology, nor is it affected by any therapeutic. Diabolical possession does not always continue. Essentially, every illness leads into a person's body.
I can imagine being my neighbor having to deal with that shit.
His own selfish desires, so there is an obligation to continually possess the victim. The mystics recognize that there are countless nervous disorders which present symptoms virtually identical to possession. Further, they recognize that unbalanced souls have the ability to simulate possession. But the church has issued a series of rules for fraud and identifying true possessions. The first of these is to simply recognize that possession is very rare. So perhaps it is best to err on the side of extreme caution. Agitation, the utterance of blasphemies, or even horror at the holy images are not alone sufficient proof for possession. These things could clearly proceed from a number of natural causes. Following are signs that allow for a certain diagnosis of demonic possession. To speak in an unknown language and to understand another who speaks in an unknown language. to perceive hidden objects, and the manifestation of superhuman powers. When an individual speaks or understands unknown languages, a person must be careful in evaluating this symptom. There have been numerous psychological occurrences of people speaking in languages they had once spoken but forgot or heard. So for this